And so welcome everybody. I am so glad you're here. So this is Thursday morning on Thanksgiving Day in America. And oh, wow. And everything all that brought up, do you choose to release and let all that go? Woo.
Yes,
Yes, I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Whoa. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm Max Riggs, dynamic change coach, energetic healer, and I help people understand kind of the nature of this reality. Because one of the things that I've like recently understood is that our reality that we're in actually has a lot of things that are designed to disempower kind and caring people. Ooh. Wow. Yeah, and once we start seeing those, we can understand why it's been so hard for us to move through what seems like kind of normal everyday stuff. Ugh. So everywhere you've been making yourself wrong for having a difficulty moving through what seems like just normal everyday stuff. Ugh. Woo! Did you choose to remove and destroy everywhere you've been making yourself wrong around that? Oh.
Yes, I choose
Yes,
that.
I
Oh,
choose
yes,
that.
I choose that. Vaporize. Whoops. Sorry about that. Ooh, wowza. Yeah. And then one of the parts that's like so hard around the holidays is the holidays are kind of like these forced introspection times. Ugh. Yeah, where, we don't really mean to, but we start comparing ourselves to others, starting to think about all the things we don't have in our lives. Ugh. Ah, yikes. Woo. So everything all that brought up. Woo. Do you choose to release and let all that go?
Yes, I choose that
Ooh,
now.
yes, I choose
Yes,
that.
I
Ooh,
choose
vaporize,
that.
liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish. Ah. Woo. Yeah, and so that's one of the parts that really wanted to help us with today, because there are these places where like we get exposed to so much stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Whoa. Oh, okay. I got distracted a little bit there. And so it's really interesting about how so many people actually have hard times around the holidays. Now, and I think I put on my little email to everybody that, I've had really struggles moving through some of my holidays. And sometimes I've been like both like really happy and really sad, almost at the same time. Yeah. Ooh, and everywhere that you've had a similar experience. Do you choose to release and let all that go?
Yes, I
Yes, I
choose
choose that now.
Choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Whoa. Whoa. And then let's just do some just basic stuff. So what's everything that okay, there we go. What's everything that's up or active in your world right now? Yeah. Yeah. And everything around that we can just change, clear, or remove, because we're in this space, in this energetic change field where change is promoted. Change is encouraged. And change just happens to your authentic advantage. So everything we can just change and clear easily. Do you choose just to go ahead and just change and clear all that?
Yes, I choose that now.
I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Whew. Banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish. Out. Ooh, woo, there we go. Cool. Yeah, and I wanted part of this time to be a time where we could share if there's anything that's up in your world or your reality that you would like help moving through, or you just like some clarity around. Is there anything that is coming up for you around that?
maybe this idea that things have to be a certain way. People kind of tell each other how holidays have to be celebrated.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, like,
Yeah. Woo.
yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So everywhere that, other people's ideas of the holidays have been forced. Ooh, yeah, forced on you.
Wow,
Ooh.
yeah.
Woo. Wow. Do we choose to remove and destroy everywhere that the ideas of holidays or how we're supposed to feel have been forced upon us? Ugh, yikes.
Wow.
Yes, I choose that. Vaporize,
Yeah.
liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Wow. Yeah. And it's one of those things too, is like you as a super energetically aware person, are really conscious and know when people's thoughts and beliefs don't jive, they're not in congruence with what they're saying. And so how many people around the holidays say that they're happy or are pretending that they're being happy when they're actually really not inside? Whoa. Yeah. So everything that brought up. Ooh, yikes. Whoa. Let's choose and remove and destroy all that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize.
Ooh, I chose that.
Choose that now.
Wow.
Well, how about people and their ideas of family?
Ugh, yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah. So everything you've been told family means, that family actually doesn't mean. And everything you were told that family doesn't mean, that family actually does mean. Woo. Do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes, I choose that now.
I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish. Yeah. And everywhere, everywhere you have to love your family.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, right. Oh, yikes. Okay. Woo.
Well, what is
Huge. Let's move on.
everywhere you have to keep your feelings to yourself.
To make it through the holidays.
Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. And everywhere you can't be yourself. Ugh. Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, let's just stop there. It's not even just around families. Everywhere you just can't be yourself. Ugh.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. Do you choose to remove and destroy everywhere that you're not allowed or you can't be or you're prevented from being yourself?
Yes, I choose that
I
now.
choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish. Woo.
And everywhere where you were put back in the role that you had when they really knew you or thought they did as kid or a
Right.
youngster.
And that's one of the parts. Yeah. I think I mentioned that in the Facebook Live earlier this week was
I
that,
remember that.
yeah, when one of the parts about being a super energetically aware person is you have almost instant knowing or knowledge of what other people think about you, whether they're saying it or not.
Oh, yeah.
And then one of the parts is because you're on this empowerment journey, you're still trying to figure out who you are because that keeps changing, and it sounds like kind of bad in one way, but it's actually really good because you keep expanding, you keep stepping into more of that amazing person you just naturally be. But because it's so new and you're still exploring this, we're trying to figure out who is that? So who is the person that you really truly are? And when we're around other people have these really strong beliefs about who we are. Yeah. And then people who are, we've been around for a long time. For most of us, that's our family, but it can also be like friends you've been around when you were since you've been young or even just multiple years. And they have these really strong beliefs about who you are. Woo. Yeah. And those beliefs that they have about who you are aren't even necessarily who you really were back in those times because you've grown so much since they first met you. Oh, yeah, I feel that expansion on that because you've grown so much since they've met you. And they're basing who you are or thinking who you are on who you were when they first met you or from some experiences. And even those, it's not even who you were, it's who they thought you were. Whoa. Yeah, and that can be really limiting around family because they also want you to be a certain way. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, and so just when we're around people who have known us for a long time or around family, we're naturally going to be exposed to these really strong, powerful beliefs of what other people think we are. Woo. Yeah. So even if you're in the most powerful place, when you're around people that you've known for a long time, especially family, these things are going to come up. And there's nothing wrong about that. It's just to kind of acknowledge that they are going to come up and then just be firmly committed to who you've decided to who you are or who you think you are. And it's really weird because who you are in some ways is kind of this nebulous thing because you're learning, knowing, growing. But what if you can be fully committed to who you are or who you would like to be? Oh, So everything that's preventing you from being firmly committed to who you would like to be. Oh, wow. And everything that brings up, there's some funky energy around that. Ugh, yeah. So everything that is, do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes, I choose that now.
Yes, I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Woo. Wow. Okay. So everywhere that who you would like to, so for your definition of who you would like to be, is that your definition of who you would like to be? Is it someone else's definition of who you'd like to be? Or something else's definition of who you would like to be? Oh, yikes. Yeah. So everywhere that your definition of who you would like to be isn't actually even your definition. Ah, whoa. Do you choose to remove and destroy all that? Ah.
Yes, I choose that now.
I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish. Wow. Woo. Whoa. Okay. So that's changing some stuff. Because it is one of those parts about how a lot of the things that we decide that we want in our lives, or it looks like even the things that we want to be, who we would like to be in our lives, are actually based on what someone, something else either wanted us to be, or it's something that those other people wanted to be that's not exactly what you want to be. Ooh. Yeah, okay. And so now what's coming up is like, so everywhere that you have to have a definition, you have to have a goal for who you want to be. Ugh. Yeah, yikes, that's not a contribution to you. Ooh. Do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes, I choose that now.
Yes, I choose that. Wow. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Wow. Ooh. Yeah, because it is. It's like from when we've been really little kids, we've been kind of told that, we're supposed to know what we want to be when we grow up. Ugh. Yikes. Yeah, and so basically we've had to make decisions about who we wanted to be, so we could explain it to other people, even without we fully understood what those really meant. Oh, and apparently, like, we're still doing that. Ooh, yikes. Yeah. So everywhere we're still having to tell people who we are or who we want to be. Ugh, that's not to our advantage. Ugh. Wowza. Do we choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes,
Yes, I choose that now.
I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. And what if it's okay to not have a defined definition of who you would like to be? Wow, my body just really relaxes on that. So let's say that one again. What if it's okay to not have a fully defined definition of who you would like to be? Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm just feeling like this relaxation over my body around that. Whoa. So what if it's okay that you don't have to have a fully defined definition of who you would like to be? Ooh. Wow. So what awareness, energy, and frequency can you and your body be to fully embody who you would like to be, even if you don't know what that is? Ooh, and then receive.
Receive.
Ooh, 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 wow. So what if that's actually a more natural thing, that you just naturally move into more of who you would like to be?
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh. Yeah, no, I've been realizing that that's something that I've been trying to do recently, is find a way to help explain the work I do, because it's with it takes a while, because it's not this simple thing. And I realize now that from what we were talking about is that trying to put a definition in some ways was really limiting. Oh, yeah. And I think that's often what we do too, when we're trying to define who we are and explain ourselves to. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So everywhere you have to explain yourself to other people. Do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
I choose
Yes,
that.
I choose
Oh,
that.
yes, I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Wow. And everywhere you also have to justify yourself to your family. Ugh. Yikes. Woo. Wowza. Do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes.
Yes, I choose that now.
The word disappointment comes up for me.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that.
Right. Yeah. So all the disappointment you feel is directed at you from your family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
And how much of that
wow.
is actually their disappointment in themselves?
Exactly.
Woo! Wow. Yeah. So all the disappointment that you felt was directed at you, that was actually directed right back at the family members or the people.
Yes.
Ugh. Wow. Ooh. Did you choose to
Yeah,
remove and
wow.
destroy everywhere you're making yourself wrong around that?
Yes,
I
I
just
choose that now.
I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize. Wow. Yeah. And that comes back to that one of the parts about being so energetically aware, is that we feel that things are directed right at us. And I've been looking at this and seeing what is this part and how does that work? And what I've kind of found is that um, when people have emotions, they radiate out like in a sphere. So kind of like when you throw a rock in a pond, how the waves radiate out. So when we're around people, we're exposed to like the waves that are coming right at us. And it seems, because we can sense it so well, that they're directed straight at us when they're actually just really most of the time directed out.
mm.
And we just pick that up because we're so energetically aware.
Wow, they're just there, not even meant for us. Wow.
Right. So
Yeah.
everywhere that you thought those emotions were directed right at you, whew, when they weren't. Oh, wow. Do you choose to release and let all that go?
Yes, I
Yes, I
choose that
choose.
now.
Yeah, I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize. Whew. Wow. Yeah. Let me see what other little notes I have on my sheet. And if you have anything that comes up, just let me.
Yeah, I have something that comes up.
What's that?
It's like the pressure on relationships, especially for people who are not in a steady relationship,
Mm-hmm.
everything
Oh,
around that,
Yep.
around the holidays, that's
Whew.
so painful. Yeah. What can we do
Yeah.
there?
Right. No, and that's something I experienced too, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
single. I would really love to be in a relationship with a contributive person. Um, and right, there's something about the holidays that you're supposed to share it with somebody special. Ugh.
Yes, that's
And you're
you.
supposed to have an
Yeah.
amazing relationship. Ugh. And if you're
Yes.
in a relationship, it's supposed to be just like it was in the beginning. You're supposed to have all that romance. Ugh. Oh my God. Oh,
Yes.
whoa, that's huge. Yeah. Wow. So all the non-contributive parts about relationships that come up around the holidays. Oh, woo, do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
I
yes, I
choose
choose
that.
that now.
I choose that. Ooh, vaporize, liquefy, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish. Wow. Yeah, because it is really interesting. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so everything you decided it means, if you don't have the ideal relation, ideal relation, because that works for everybody, whether
Ideal.
it's a relationship
Yeah.
or not. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everywhere, if you don't have the ideal relationship, something is wrong. Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Wow.
So you choose to remove and destroy all that.
Yes, I choose that
Yes,
now.
I
Woo,
choose
I
that.
choose that. Yeah, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Woo. Banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish. Yeah, because it
Ooh.
is that forced comparison, So all the commercials that are around the holidays and all the, you know, yeah,
Holiday movies,
played.
Disney.
Holiday movie. Oh, oh my gosh, yeah, because that hits everybody. Woo, yeah. Woo. So everything we can just change around the holidays and what's projected at us. Do we choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes, I
Yes,
choose
I
that
choose
now.
that.
I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize. Whoa. Yeah, and that comes back to that whole forced comparison around like holidays, the
Yeah.
end of the year, certain times like that. It's kind of like we're automatically forced to bring into comparison with our lives with other people. And it can be really hard too, because we're not necessarily always in the right space to be looking at our lives in that level of detail. Whoa. Whoa. And then there's also quite a bit of judgment, because we're supposed to be this ideal. Yeah. Ooh, how is that? So all the projections, expectations that you made when you were younger about what Christmases, what holidays, what
Ooh.
beginning of the years would
Oh,
be.
yes.
Ooh, wow, that are not a contribution to you. Ooh. Do you choose to remove and destroy everywhere you're judging yourself by these non-contributive beliefs?
Yes,
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I
choose
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 that.
that.
that now.
Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Finish, vanquish, finish, vanquish, finish, vanquish, finish, vanquish. Whew. Wow.
What about competition from family members where they try to make you compete with them
Ooh.
about where they are in
Mm-hmm.
their life?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, because the part that was coming up around that, I mean, it's totally not fun. But how much are they trying to justify their lives? Ooh, yeah,
Right, or make themselves look better at your expense.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, wow. Ugh, yikes. So everything that we can change around that. Ooh, do you choose to go ahead and change and clear all that?
I
Yes,
choose
I
that.
choose that now.
I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, liquefy. Yeah, and it's one of the parts where, the thing that's coming up for me is to, what if you can really see what's going on behind that? What's going on to their insecurity? Ooh, their insecurities. Wow, that's really big. And at the same time, it's one thing to kind of know that, but it still hurts. Ugh. Yeah. So everything, all the awarenesses and knowing that's supposed to make all this stuff better. They're supposed to make all these things so you can just easily move through them. Ugh. Wow. And so everywhere you've been making yourself wrong for not being able to easily move through these things, even with this greater awareness and knowledge. Wow. Do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes, I
Yes.
choose that
Whew,
now.
I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize. Wow. Because that's one of the things the kind of the traps we can get into is when we're on this awareness path, we have all this more information. So we have these tools. And then the times that we don't use the tools or it doesn't seem like we're getting enough relief, we can make ourselves wrong. So we can think that we're not good enough because we're not using the tools correctly or because it still hurts. Ugh, yeah, it still hurts. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. Woo. And what if it doesn't mean anything about your capacities if life still hurts and situations that you're told you should just be able to move through easily, they still really impact you. Ugh. Yeah. So everywhere you've been making yourself wrong, thinking you're not good enough. Woo. Yikes. Do you choose to release and let all that go?
Yes, I choose that
Yes, I
now.
choose
I
that.
choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize. Woo. Yeah. Because it's one of those parts is we've been looking at that there is something wrong with us for so long in our lives. I mean, I know I have basically since I was a little boy. Thinking that something was wrong with me. And that becomes like this default, so we always keep looking. It's like, is there something wrong with me, something wrong with you that makes it harder for you to move through stuff? Whoa, okay, yikes. So everything that brought up, do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes, I choose that now.
Yes.
I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Whew. So I talk about this as being the default answer. So it's almost like for any challenge you're moving through, the default answer can often be that there's something wrong with you. Yeah, and it's not true. It's not true, but it's the default answer because we've had it for so long. It's the answer that we kept coming back to. And it's just to kind of know this. So the default answer that there's something wrong with you is always wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. Yeah, so everywhere it feels like there's something wrong with you. Do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes, I
Yes,
choose
I
that
I
now.
choose
choose that.
that.
Vaporize, liquefy, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish, banish, vanquish. But because it's the default answer, we have to do work to change that. So anytime you see or you start feeling, that pop in, just understand that it's natural. It's natural because when you do something a long enough time, for years, and so most of us been decades, it takes us a little bit of work to change that to a new habit so that you don't make yourself wrong. So you stop thinking that you're not good enough. Yeah. Yeah. So everywhere you're not good enough. Yikes. Do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes, I choose that now.
Yes, I choose that.
Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Whoa. Woo. Yeah. Because my belief around that is you always are good enough. And if it doesn't feel like you're good enough, then there's just something that needs to be changed, needs to be done a different way. So that's one of the things that I do is like when I'm trying to energetically change something and it doesn't change, I don't go into there's something wrong with me. I go into there must be something different I need to do to accomplish this. Now, that's also when I'm feeling really positive. There's certain times when I get frustrated too. Woo! Yeah. Or there's a lot of times I get frustrated too. And there's nothing wrong with that either, because we are human. We are having this physical experience, and it can be challenging. You know, and it's one of the parts that you can be on the right spiritual path, the right empowerment path, and your journey can still be hard. Yeah. Yeah. And everything that brings up, do you choose to remove and
Yes, I choose that
I
now.
choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize. Whew. Yeah. Yeah. And how I look at it is the more tools we have, and the further you move along your empowerment journey, the journey does get easier. It still probably never is going to be fully easy, but it gets easier. I look at it as it's kind of like momentum. You know, like if you're just standing still and somebody puts their hand up against your shoulder, you can't really move through them. You know, it requires a lot of energy to do that. But if you're walking fast and your friend maybe even wanted to kind of try to stop you, you could easily push their hand away. And so I look at that as we keep moving forward on our empowerment journey, we get more momentum. So it makes it easier, but we're still going to have some of those challenges. And it's okay to have those challenges. Yeah. So everywhere it's not okay to have challenges. Yeah. Ooh, do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes, I choose that.
I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize. Whoa. Yeah. I mean, I certainly would like fewer challenges in my life. And we are going to still have some of those challenges. And that's how I look at that, is that's part of the things that help us grow. But it still can be hard. And, you know, we do need a little bit of extra support sometimes. And that's okay. Whew.
Oh yeah, that ties into the if you're spiritual enough, everything will be perfect in your life, right?
Woo! Whoa! And everything all that brings up.
Yes.
Yeah, I choose that. Vaporize.
Yeah.
Vaporize. Right. And that's another way that I'm going to be talking about this in another program, maybe next month or whatever, about how a lot of these spiritual paradigms are set up for you to fail. Ugh. Whoa. Okay.
Wow.
Everything that brought up. Do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes, I choose that now.
I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Right. Because if the spiritual paradigm or the spiritual modality is telling you that if you're doing everything right, your life is easy. And then if your life isn't easy, what does that mean? It means there's something wrong with you.
Yes.
And so we have this quote unquote empowerment this empowerment modality that's actually has it built in to disempower you. Woo. Okay, yeah. So let's just change that. Yeah. So all the empowerment beliefs, tools that you thought were empowering to you, whoa, that actually aren't empowering, and everything all that brings up, do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes, I choose that now.
I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize. Woo. Yikes. Yeah, and the part about that that's kind of sneaky is that a lot of these empowerment tools or the things that are being taught, there's a part of it that's true. There's a part of it that's empowering, but there's also this part that's disempowering. And that sticks us. And that keeps us thinking that we're not good enough and that we're not on further enough on our empowerment journey. Oh, yeah. Well, that's another one that's good to look at. So where is everywhere that you've decided that you aren't far enough along on your empowerment journey? Ugh, yeah, yikes. And everything that brought up, do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes, I choose
Yes, I
that
choose
now.
that.
Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize. And this is one of those interesting things is what I found is it seems like you're not as far along as your empowerment journey, or you're not as, yeah. But the reason is because you live with yourself every second of every day. Oh, yeah. So everywhere, everything that brought up, woohoo, do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
I choose
Yes,
that.
I choose that now.
Ooh, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. And what I really was trying to get to with that is we as beings just naturally compare ourselves to who we were just a minute ago. And so if you compare yourself, even if you had like a massive growth, massive spiritual growth, if you compare yourself at that massive spiritual growth to right before you had that, like 5 minutes before, there's really not that much difference. I mean, it's a little bit. And so what happens is you're usually comparing yourself to who you were earlier in the day or maybe last week. But if you look at where you are now, so let's just do that. So just take a look at where you are now. And then let's just jump back to take a look at where you were on your empowerment path a year ago. Yeah, so don't stay there, just jump there. And then, so if you jump back to there and then jump back to here, how much further along on your path are you?
Oh.
A little bit, medium amount, a lot. Ooh. And there's different, I mean, there's different people on here where I'm getting different ranges, but for most people, it's quite a bit further. So does anybody feel like they're not quite a bit further than they were a year ago? And it's totally okay if you do. We could just take a quick look at that. Okay, so everywhere that you're feeling not good enough around this, do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes, I choose that now.
Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. And all the unknowable, unspeakable, untouchable, undetectable, unconsciousness, anti-consciousness, disinformation, energy fog cloaking, and all manipulation around you, all manipulation around your body, and all manipulation around this topic. Do you choose to remove and destroy all that? Wow.
Yes, I choose that now.
Yes, I choose that.
choose
Vaporize,
that.
liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize. Wow, that was a lot. Woo. Yeah. Right. Because if things are going to be manipulating in your reality, they're actually going to be manipulating it to make it seem like you're lower or not as far as you are along. They don't manipulate it the other way. Yeah. So it's kind of like energetic forces and this world and society. If they're going to manipulate you, they're going to manipulate you to make you think that you're less than you actually are. Yeah. So by the default, if they're manipulating you to make you feel like you're less than you are, that actually means that you're higher, you're further along, you're more powerful, you're stronger than you thought you were. Yeah, let's let that sink in for a minute. You're actually stronger, more powerful, and further along your empowerment journey than you thought you were. Ooh, yeah. That feels a lot better, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh. Cool. All right. Anything else coming up around that? Or let me see if there's anything else. Oh, well, this is another good one to think about, is that because you're such an energetically aware person, you pick up thoughts, feelings, and emotions from other people that are directly around you or even from quite a ways away. And one of the parts is for any emotion you are feeling, like let's say it was like sadness or loneliness around the holidays, that makes you more perceptive to other people around you that are feeling the same or a similar emotion. Whoa. And so what happens is let's say you're just like a little bit sad about not having a relationship or not having the relationship you want around the holidays. Whoa, okay. I got that. So that maybe that's like a level of like here, you're kind of, a little bit sad, but not too bad. But then because you're so energetically aware, you're picking up, you're sensing the emotions from other people. And so that pushes your normal emotions up higher. And then, whoa. And sometimes like one of the tricks that I have, if I start to feel I'm going into overwhelm around an emotion, going into overwhelm around any emotion basically just means that you're picking up something else's emotions around this too. Because my belief is that you're always strong enough to move through any challenge you have without going into overwhelm. Whoa. Now, that doesn't mean the challenge isn't really, really tough and it's not going to take all your strength and capacities to move through it. But anytime it goes into overwhelm, that's kind of like you want to always like check to see how much of this emotion that you're feeling is your emotion, how much of this emotion is someone else's emotion, whoa, and how much is some of this emotion is something else's emotion. Whoa. And so let's try that around the holidays. So any emotions you have around the holidays. Let's see, all the emotions you have around the holidays. So just like tap into that. And of those emotions, how much of those are just your emotions? Okay. And how much of those are someone else's emotions that you're picking up on? Ooh, wow. There you go. Wow. Yeah. And how much are something else's emotions around these? Whoa. And now let's go back to the emotions that you have around this. So do they feel like you have less emotions? Does it feel like you have more emotions around those?
Less emotions.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. So it's one of those things also as we're going through the holidays, is just you can just ask. And one of the parts that sometimes when we feel that there are all our emotions, we can ask. If you didn't decide that 100% of these emotions were only your emotions, how much of these emotions are your emotions? How much are someone else's emotions? Whoa. And how much are something else's emotions? And it's interesting because when I did that, the smallest reading on those were my emotions around the holidays. Woo. Yeah. And so that can be really helpful to help moving through anytime that you're having a challenge. So it's kind of like my belief around this stuff is to first, we want to, when we're trying to move through any challenge or we're feeling sad or working through some emotions, is first remove the emotions that are not yours, because then you're left with the ones that are. And often that's a lot smaller. And those are ones that are a lot easier to deal with. Because if you're feeling, this much sadness, it's really hard to do anything else but feel that much sadness. But if you can drop it down to what's actually yours, then you can look at that and you can change it. Wow. Ooh, awesome. Let's see if we have any other ones. Yeah. And then let's see, I talk about like the energetic clearing audios I have. So I have one called the This Changes Now audio. And that's one I keep on my smartphone at all times, because sometimes we can't just clear things. Like if I'm with my family and I'm having a challenge, I can't just out loud start going, and everything this is bringing up, I'm going to clear and remove it all. So I have that I just press on. Do I have my phone around here? Yeah. So I have my phone. I just press play, keep it on low so that no one else can hear it. And it works to start taking down those energies and emotions. And that's something else I do too. Like right around this time, like when we're in the supermarket or in grocery stores, the mall, to help calm me down and remove the energies that are messing with me. So that's something that's available in my shop. You can take a look at that if you would like, or if you have any questions on that one, let me know. And then the other thing is to just be kind to yourself. Whoa, yeah. Because one of the parts is we're often the hardest on ourselves, that even other people are. Because one of the things that can often come up is, all the excuses that you're giving for why you're not doing something, why you are a certain way. Whoa. Yeah. And you also kind of know that all those excuses are lies. Ah, whoa. And everything that brought up, whoa. Do you choose to remove and destroy all that?
Yes, I
Yes,
choose
I
that now.
choose
Oh, yes, I choose that. Vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy, vaporize, liquefy. Whoa. And so what if, and so one of the parts is like, so what I was trying to get at with that, it's not to make you wrong, because I have that too. It's more that when we try to give an excuse for why we're not doing something, we often know it's not real, or there's a part of it that's not true. So why am I not, working on my business at night? Well, I'm tired. I want to watch TV. I want to do something like that. But the real reason is I'm kind of tired and I don't want to do it. But could I do it? Yes. So maybe that's the thing is, when you're talking to yourself, that for any reason you come up with, you could move beyond it. And so the part is to look at that and have everything come back to choice. You can just ask yourself, okay, do you choose to do this or do you not choose to do this? And when we look at it like that, then it kind of takes that wrongness out of not doing anything. So, at evening, am I choosing to work in my business, or I'm choosing to watch Netflix? It takes, instead of having a rationale about like, oh, you really should be doing this, you have to be doing this, see if you can change it to choice. And then if you really decide that you really want to do something, like for maybe me working on my business, maybe at least a couple nights a week, you can ask is this choice going to create the life that you would like? Or is this choice not going to create the life you would like? And that takes the judgment out of it too. It's more about like, okay, well, it's not going to create the choice that I really want, but I'm also really tired and I'm not going to do it tonight. But that gives me the choice to maybe make a different choice tomorrow. Cool. All right. So is there any other kind of questions that are coming up for you, or you have a challenge that you have in your life right now that you would like us to see if we can change?
No, I'm feeling good.
Cool. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good too. I'm feeling pretty complete.
I'm feeling better than when I started.
Well, awesome. Well, that's what I wanted to do today, to see what we can do to make this world a little bit better place for all of us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Anything else before we head off?
No.
Okay. Well, awesome.
Thank you very, very much. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You have a great Thanksgiving yourself. And thanks everyone for joining me today. And I look forward to chatting with you more again soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Max.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.